The guy's name is Joseph Campbell and created the hero's journey, which a lot of writers have applied to great effect. And then another fellow named Christopher Vogler, which is the book that I went through to do my homework and all that. I've read this twice now, once before and then read it again while doing these notes that you guys are perusing. He took Campbell's mythic journey or the hero's journey and how do we apply this to writing? And it's more of it's less theory and more practical knowledge. So that's why I suggest going to Vogler as opposed to Campbell. Campbell is the root of it, but he was more interested in interpreting the Greek and Roman mythologies, and Norse and Celtic and other mythologies like that. Whereas Vogler is more focused on how do we take this knowledge and improve our writing based off of what Campbell has put together. So the first page here has the information about the book, the title of who it's about and the ISBN, so if you want to run off and buy the book, I do highly recommend it. If I didn't recommend it, I wouldn't be doing a presentation over it. So, what is the hero's journey? First and foremost, it is not a formula to follow. It's not, oh, I forgot to put the trickster in my book is going to suck now. It's nothing like that. It's a form, it's a mold, it's a large collection of suggestions on how to make a story better. Now, this is not about grammatical correctness or proper punctuation or spelling or anything. This is just raw storytelling. So if you guys can learn this and you have some idea and you're sitting around a campfire, you can just start telling the story following this mold and have a better story come out. So that's kind of what this is. If you leave out certain steps or leave out certain characters, you're not guaranteed failure. If you use every single character type that I'm going to teach you about and every single step in the hero's journey, you're not guaranteed success either. So it's just another tool in your toolbox to help you out and improve your writing. And this typically follows the structures of the Greeks, Romans, Norse, so on and so forth. And there's one... the hero's journey is one of the key reasons why these stories still survive to today. That they're so venerated and so browbeaten on us in high school and junior high, and you must learn the classics and all that. It's because the raw storytelling is so well done. So what I'm teaching here today hopefully will get your stories venerated by high school kids 2,000 years from now, 3,000 years from now. So
we have to wait.
That's the goal. Yeah, we're still around. Before I jump into the hero or the character archetypes, I just want to thank Christopher Vogler for writing this book and for Deb Dixon for introducing me to this book. She did a great class, I want to say 4 years ago, where she covered her book, which is Goal, Motivation, Conflict, and this book as well, and kind of interwove the two. It was an all-day class, so I'm not going to be covering both of those. I do believe our next workshop is over GMC, though. The December workshop's over Goal, Motivation, Conflict, so you'll be getting that in a couple of months. So let's go ahead and jump into the various archetypes. And this is not okay, so these are the archetypes. These are the commonly found characters in a story. This is not the exhaustive list of every type of character that can be found in a story. Like I had in War Maiden, somebody suggested, well, you don't have like this wrinkled old woman that scares Lauren, my protagonist, and gives her advice or foretells the future. That character type is called the crone. And that's not in the archetype, because it's just yet another character type that can be mixed into your book. But these guys, these 8 guys are the most commonly found ones in novels. And throughout the handout and throughout my presentation, I'm just going to use the masculine form for he and all that. That's he and him and all that, just for simplicity's sake. Mentors can be female, heroes can be female, so on and so forth. So just because you see he everywhere, don't lock yourself into thinking, oh, the mentor has to be a guy, because it doesn't have to be. whatever works best in your story, go with that. So we're going to talk about heroes, mentors, threshold guardians, heralds, shapeshifters, shadows, allies, and tricksters. First one obviously is the hero, because that's our protagonist. That's the one that the reader, in theory, is going to care the most about. If through receiving critiques you find that people are like, well, I like this other guy better, you may have not have a strong enough hero. Or your hero really is this other guy, and you just haven't realized it yet. So a question for you, who's the hero of Lord of the Rings?
Frodo.
Sam.
Sam.
Dang it.
In your face.
I was so close.
Frodo
Right next to his twin.
Yeah, Frodo is, for the most part, a point of view character and the focus of the story, but the true hero of the story is Samwise Gamgee. So, and I'll tell you, we'll go through the requirements, if you want to call it that, of being a hero, and that will kind of come out as to why Sam was the hero. So, something to understand about the word hero is its Greek root is to protect and serve, which is
The police department.
the police department, exactly. So, what's one of the key elements of being a police officer? Put your ass on the line for other people. So, self-sacrifice is one of the key elements of being a hero. Heroes need admirable qualities so that we like them. You can have an unlikable protagonist, but it's hard to put the label hero on them. Can be done if you do it well enough, but typically the hero is one of the most liked characters throughout the book. And also, I keep saying book and novel and all that because the hero's journey is such a large concept, it's rough to apply it to a short story. It can be done, but for the most part, this is novel-length work that I'm going to be talking about. But feel free to steal little ideas from here and there and incorporate it into short stories. Like I said, it's just a form and it's a mold. It's not a formulaic process that has to be followed from point A to point Z. So the heroes need admirable qualities. They also need flaws as well. And that makes them three-dimensional, makes them more human, also makes them more likable. Because if a hero has a phobia of snakes, and one of your readers has the same phobia, like Indiana Jones, snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? You know, those people out there that have that same dislike or phobia of snakes immediately identify more strongly with the hero, and that's what you want. You want an identification with, not just the reader reading about the exploits of your hero. You want them to go, oh, I wish I could be him or her. You know, I want to be that person. And that's if you find readers or critique partners or beta readers or whatever that goes, man, I really wish I could live that life, then you've got a strong hero. So, since people want to be the hero, this makes a point of view choice very important. So, in Sherlock Holmes, who's the point of view character? Watson. Who's the hero? Holmes. So, the reason that's done, the reason Sherlock Holmes is not the point of view character, the reason we're not in Sherlock Holmes' head, is because the stories would be much, much shorter. Because Watson's following Holmes around going, what the hell is he doing? Why is he picking that up? And why is he sniffing this? And why is he, and what's with that scrawl on the wall? I don't get it. Well, Holmes is connecting things like that. So if we're inside Holmes' head instead of Watson's, we're learning, oh, this scrawl is some ancient Egyptian sigil that means this for this cult, so whoever did this crime is this culty, and the mystery just dissolves, it's gone. You get see where I'm going with that? So that's why your point of view character needs to be carefully chosen, and typically up front. And it needs to be a conscious and a clear decision. And if you stumble into it, you might do it well, but it just really needs to be a choice, not a, oops, I got it right kind of thing. Because more often than not, an oops is, I got it wrong, as opposed to I got it right. So our hero growth, and this applies to most of your characters as well, but more specifically to the hero. the hero needs to grow and learn and change. The character that grows the most throughout your story is going to be the hero.
That's why it's Sam.
That's why it's Sam. Because Sam went from the gardener to the guy, at the end of the book at least, leading the charge against the orcs in the Shire, which I don't think they put in the movies. So, but it's in the book.
So some of it's in the extra scenes.
Okay, okay. So, but yeah, that's why Sam is our hero, is because he experienced the most growth throughout the entirety of however many pages Lord of the Rings is. Action. Who is the most active person in the story? They're also the hero, usually. And also, all of these things that I'm giving you to be the gospel truth, imagine that I'm saying usually or most of the time in front of it, because, again, these aren't strict rules, these aren't hard guidelines to follow. These are just ideas for you guys to absorb and use if you please. So, in Lord of the Rings, back to Lord of the Rings as the example, Frodo is kind of the unwilling bearer of the ring. He doesn't want to, especially as they get closer to Mount Doom. He really doesn't want to. Whereas Samwise picks him up and carries him. He's the guy most willing to, let's get this ring to the top of this mountain so we can chuck it in the chasm and destroy the thing. So he's literally carrying Frodo through part of the journey. He's egging him on. He's urging him. That's another reason why Samwise is the hero.
But Frodo is more of the sacrifice thing.
Yes. Yeah, he does sacrifice quite a bit. So the two together could be considered one heroic persona. But if you have to split them apart as individuals, I would pick Sam over Frodo.
Yeah, I agree. I see what you mean.
So basically, it's the path that they're on that makes them a hero.
Yes. Yes. And that actually leads into my next point. Heroes are in control of their destiny, or at least they think they are. They're putting effort in to take control of all this bad stuff that's happening and pushing forward and trying to make life better for themselves, their family, their world, their village, their starship, whatever. In this case, I like to invoke Harry Dresden by Jim Butcher. He does his damnedest to wrap his egomaniacal control around every event that happens, but so much is going on in those worlds and those books that he has no chance of being in control. But that force that he exerts on the world, that control that he tries to put forth, brings sanity to himself, brings sanity to the world, and in the end, he usually ends up winning. He's all beat to hell, but the bad guy is vanquished in the end most of the time.
I love how the enemies, or the hierarchy in the books are like corporate assholes.
Right. Yep.
Parallel there.
And then think of the end of the book. When you, I realize this is a big ask, but when you're sitting down to plot a novel or write a novel, think about the critical endpoint action. What is the one thing that any character will do to change the entire scope of the book? You know, the who wins at the climactic battle. That one character that's going to be doing the winning or pushing forth that critical key element or action, that's your hero as well. So I'm going to go to Star Wars. Star Wars is a great example of the hero's journey. George Lucas followed it through and through. And when I say Star Wars, I'm talking about Episode 4, the very first movie that came out in '77, not some of the others. Who's the character what's at the climax of the movie? What's the action that is taken to change the course of the galaxy?
Death of the Death Star.
Right. Who does that?
The hero.
The hero.
Luke Skywalker.
Exactly. So Luke Skywalker is the hero of Star Wars. And he's the hero of Star Wars for all of the reasons that I've listed before. He has the most growth. He has the most action. He's willing to do it. He puts his ass on the line by attacking the Death Star in the X-Wing fighter. So that's their self-sacrifice. He ended up not sacrificing himself, but he put himself in that position to be sacrificed. And then he put forth the most risk by being the lead guy through the trench and got his